And welcome back, and as per request, today we're flying out the AJ37 Viggen, not to be confused with the JA37 Viggen. This is the 10.3 version, the strike variant, and there are some small differences, but overall they fly very similarly. This thing has a little bit less thrust, it has way less missiles, it still has the very good radar. Problem is you only have two A9Js, and I say only, and that's mostly because you don't have radar missiles, and the other one has 6 of them. You do lack a little bit of extra thrust. Your top speed is still very good though, especially for 10.3. Keep in mind you don't have flares if you want to bring the guns, and the guns are something that I will always bring around, because it just feels like I'm flying around with my dick in my hand, especially in something like a dogfight. If they get in front of you and they're kind of paying attention, you're not gonna get many kills with only 2 missiles. So I do recommend you to bring the guns, unless of course you are really bad with the guns and you don't get kills with them anyway, because the reality of it is, if any kind of MiG-27 or just any MiG-23 variant looks at you, either R60Ms or R24, and you are not going to be doing much versus those, and chances are you are going to eat it. The best way to dodge missiles in this thing is simply by going really fast, trying to outrun the missile that way. Don't get people on your 6. You can dogfight a lot of enemies, but at the end of the day you are a strike fighter, you are not a designated fighter. So be careful with those things in a head-on. Try to get in second row, don't rush in first, because if you don't have chav on you, if you don't have any type of countermeasures, it can be very nasty, especially early game when you are the only one spotted and they will all go for you. You don't want that to happen. So be careful with that. You do have the air spawn. In a down tier, completely different story. You can rush in and you can kill a lot of guys because you will outrun almost the entire battlefield. However, you will very likely not see a down tier, because at the end of the day 11.0 is a massive black hole, and I do apologize if I sound a little bit even less enthusiastic than I normally do. I got a positive COVID result about 2 days ago or 4 days ago, and I'm still kind of recovering, so if I sound a little bit shitty, well, there is why. Other than that, I don't have any symptoms. I just feel a little bit stuffy, a little bit sick. No big deal, I'm vaccinated and everything. But that's not why you're here for. You're here for a review on, of course, the best plane in the Swedish stack tree. And really, just this thing isn't bad in the slightest. It's just kind of annoying to play, because you don't have countermeasures and you are very fast. Just the problem is, if people stick on you and they really want to chase you down, and they will, because you are an attack variant, they know you don't have flares, and then you get people in F4E on your 6 or in Harrier with SRAMs, and you can't really do anything. And especially against MLDs and stuff, it's just nothing you're gonna be doing. So I'm not gonna be showing you how to deal with MiG-23 MLDs, because there is just no realistic way. You just have to kind of outfox them, be smarter than them, and of course play the team game, because on your own you're not gonna be doing much. So pick your fights carefully, know what you can and can't fight, and most of the things you can very reliably fight, as long as you start from the head-on. If someone starts on your 6, you're gonna have a little bit of a bad time, because you don't have countermeasures. You don't really lose that much speed, making it so that they can very easily stick on your 6. And if they start air braking too hard, dumping too much speed, you are in a little bit of a pickle. Them actually overcommitting is actually your biggest weakness. You don't have flares and you won't have the speed anymore, because you already engaged in a little bit of a dogfight, but you were forced to. And now you have two choices. You either try to run away, like I do right here with the F4E, but the F4E has some considerable distance. If he is at 900 meters, roughly, maybe 1.5, and we are at only Mach 1 or a little bit slower, I can't run away anymore, because that missile is going to find my plane and it is going to blow me up. So now I'm forced to take the dogfight, and I'm forced to reverse someone that's slower than me. And this plane doesn't particularly shed all the speed, so at that point it's kind of praying, it's kind of trying to find a chink in his attack. If he's too slow, you can maybe still get away from him. If he's just a little bit too close, you can actually try to stay in a turn, a flat turn, making it so that he can't fire a missile because of the overload warning, and hope there's a teammate around. You are just in a little bit of a fucky spot there, and you don't want to get in that. There's no real way to get out of it, so instead of trying to find a way to survive it, try to make sure you just don't get there in the first place. I missile the F5 here because he's going to be the more annoying one. He gets the kill. I set him on fire, I go for the F4E, and he gets team kill. Well, it doesn't harm me. I was going to kill him there anyway, but now I know that he shot a missile. He wasted the missile. Good job, AV8A. And I'm just going to do this very slight bank, and I'm just trying to get in position here, hoping he shoots a second missile because I know he can shoot it at that range. Because the A9G doesn't have a load factor limit. Go under the F5A, and we go straight up here. And the AV8 breaks off, goes for the MiG-21, and now we can start setting up and see who we can pick out first. I'm not really too worried about the AV8. He just shot his second missile off, so it is very likely that he won't be doing much anymore. And the AV8 is going towards a teammate, and he's at this point not engaging anyone. The F5A over here is engaging the Mirage or the MiG-23 MLD, and he's on at 6. And I know that in the MiG-23, if you have someone on your 6, it's actually very hard to shake them because you keep so much speed. The MLD is an amazing dogfighter, but at lower speeds, if they start on your 6 with some decent distance, it's very hard to reverse them. AV8 shouldn't be getting the kill. He's a premium player. I just saw him team kill and then shoot a missile and an impossible target, so he's not exactly my prime target right now. The MiG-23 at this point is making it very hard for me to assist him, but he finally gets straight for a little bit. He gives me a broadside, then he starts pulling, and at this point I just aim, I just shoot, and that's the F5A crit. And at this point I'm looking at the AV8, I'm seeing what he's doing. The Mirage for now is somewhat holding up, so I want to see if I can do a single pass on this guy and then go back for the AV8. He's going very slow. I can get him out of the match right here, make sure that I don't fly into his gun, to just fly under him. We do a little loop up. Look at my fuel, by the way, it's been going down pretty rapidly. This is the second game I did in the thing, and I kind of forgot how much this thing burned. Luckily we set up perfectly. He is out of energy as well because he doesn't have a pilot left. And then the game after, I just flew in. I missed an AIM-9J. I didn't start the recording, sorry for that, but I just missed a missile. I dove in straight from the side, did the thing I mentioned at the start, second row, get on someone 6, and I shot a missile from just a bad aspect. If I shot it about 50 meters more from behind, it probably would have pulled in. That's how close it was. But no matter, I'm one missile down and I still have all my ammo. But look at my fuel consumption. I am afterburning, but my fuel isn't ticking down very rapidly. I'm still keeping my speed somewhat, and this is because this is a down tier, so I can actually do this. If you get up tier to 11.0, very likely you are not going to be able to do this, because by the time you run to about 30 minutes of fuel with the afterburner, your team is probably dead, or their team is dead. So it's not really worth it. I try to be a little bit more aggressive in the up tiers, because I have to be there quickly. I won't have much impact without a team anyway, so I try to stay with the team, so I have to go all in with them. Whereas in the down tier, in the quote-unquote balanced tier, if you're at 10.3, 10.0, you can take it a little bit slower, because you will outrun most of your enemies. Do keep in mind though, once the dogfight starts, once the furball starts developing, I will start the afterburn again, because I just need some extra speed. I need to pick my targets and I need to see who I can go for. The F-104 here is going to be my main target. I'm not going to go for the SU-7. The SU-7 I don't really care about him, because while it's an SU-7, he doesn't have missiles, he doesn't have flares, he doesn't really have anything. So I'm not really too worried about him killing anyone. And the SU-7 pulls back onto me. I'm going much faster, but at this point the only reason I'm outrunning, or trying to outrun him, is because of that R60 that's going my way from the Yak-38. So I just outrun that guy, or outrun the missile, and then we break off and we re-engage. And I really need to start killing people here, because my team isn't looking very great. Luckily one guy just crashed, and here comes the F4C. Do be careful, he does have radar missiles. The thing is, the AIM-7Ds aren't the greatest, and I will make a video on that thing relatively soon here, but prop video in between first. But it can still catch you off guard if you're not aware of it. The SU-7 here is a little bit further away, so we go for the F4 first, miss him again, and my aim with this thing isn't the best, and there's a few reasons for that. First of all, the AIDANs, the velocity is kind of shitty for jet combat, and look how far apart they are and how far back they are. They're very awkward to aim. The frame itself is actually fine, you can mostly get your guns on pretty easily. We start a dogfight here, and the only reason I do this is because the SU-7 broke off, and he's not going to be doing much anyway, and I'm not going to let this guy run away. Secure kill, 100% that's going to hit, because the F-104 at low speed is simply not going to be dodging it, and that's going to be kill number 2. And now there's only some SU7s left and the Yak-38 and planes like that, so we're just gonna go to the middle of the map, throttle back down to 100%, scroll wheel up till it starts afterburning, and I just don't touch it anymore. You can tell that I'm picking up speed, I'm accelerating decently still. It's not as fast as full afterburner, but it's also not as slow as without it. And you have 45 minutes of fuel anyway, and you can maintain this pretty long, so you don't really have to worry about that. Yak-38 here has missiles. He shot one at me, so he's probably out. I'm not gonna. I have to put my bets on it. He's probably out of missiles, and I can't really get my thoughts together. I know that's exactly why I took this plane, because there's not much to talk about. It's more of a heads up what this plane is like. So I'm sorry, but my brain is extremely foggy at the moment. You can probably imagine why. And at this point, there's only 2 SU7s left, and I'm gonna be playing this out till the end. Well, the other SU7 is actually going to run for me, and because I'm low on fuel, I have to chase him with my first stage supercharger with the first stage afterburner, and I go about 5 kilometers an hour faster than him at this point, and we're gonna run from this side of the map all the way to the map border, which is I think southbound, eastbound, yeah, eastbound, and then I map reset behind him, and he crashes into the water. Very exciting, so I'm not gonna actually bore you with that. I'm gonna picture for the SU7 here that's trying to get some altitude so he can die faster, I guess. But that's all I'm gonna have for you today. Sorry for the lack of energy, but I am completely shit-faced. I still wanted to get a video out for this week, simply because of, well, one a week should be manageable, and I feel good enough to do that. Not trying to fish for sympathy, that's just the reality of it. See ya, all in the next one.